Hello, Skizz here with some notes before you dive into the podcast. We did something very different this time. As you know, we went to TwitchCon San Diego and had a blast. We knew we wanted to take a risk and do a podcast from the VRBO we were staying at along with a good chunk of our friends. However, sometimes risks are going to do what they do and sting you. Two separate audio issues were surfaced in the most fantastic fashion. First, as you can imagine, it wasn't a professional studio and the only room we could use was an outrageous echo chamber. I tried to fix and post to the best of my abilities, but that can only do so much. Second, we were trying out some new mics. Their quality is amazing, but my mic had a configuration issue and ended up making me sound like this. While some of you may actually prefer that to my natural voice, I'm willing to bet most of you wouldn't. So what does this mean? Well, not only did we need to revert to the camera's mic for my voice, but you get to watch me foolishly bring a non-working mic to my mouth over and over again for no reason. Oh well, this amazing group was simply too lovely to scrap this podcast. Please enjoy.
Welcome back to the show. There's no telling where we'll go. So come and share a laugh on the Imp and Skizz podcast.
All right, so we have video watchers of the podcast. We have audio only, and the audio only right now, all of them are going, what is going on? What sounds so different? We're at a very, very different location today. Impulse, where are we?
We are in this beautiful San Diego, just attended TwitchCon. This is the last day, and we all got together to celebrate the weekend that we just had. So we got a bunch of people here. Obviously, you guys know me, Imp and Skizz. We got Evan and Caitlin. We got Gemini Tay. We got Scar, Cub, Pearl, Tango, and Joel.
Boom.
All showed up. We conned them into coming over to hang out so we could record a podcast.
We were bribed with pizza.
Yeah, we did promise pizza. Really good pizza. It's
going to be a low profile hangout and everything, and we were like, actually, we might be doing a podcast, and everybody was super cool about it. And then as soon as it started to become real, it was like, uh-oh. It's like, actually a lot
we've rearranged furniture and
Wait, this isn't how the room actually normally looks. It's perfect for your setup, to be honest.
Meanwhile, if the owner of this house, this is a VRBO, if there happened to be a viewer, they're going to be like, what is going on in my house?
No kidding.
Moved around a lot of stuff, but there's a lot to unpack about TwitchCon and how it went this weekend. I can tell you, obviously, we imprinted a whole lot of memories that are going to be with me forever. We had some MCC going on. We can talk about that. We did a Hermitcraft panel that we can talk about. Evan and Caitlin, you guys showed up just to enjoy the show. Okay? Well, I actually want to start with you guys. Tell me your TwitchCon.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, go. Be awesome.
It was kind of a last minute decision for us to come. I'm not sure if all the viewers are as familiar with what we do, but a lot of what we do is DIY content on YouTube, so we're sort of on the outskirts of Twitch. But the good news about that is Twitch doesn't want us to do anything. So we can just kind of show up and hang out, yeah.
Huge change this year for us. We took a midday nap, which was an absolute game changer. I highly recommend.
I wish I could take naps.
That's our new con strategy, is midday naps.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I needed one today, that's for true.
Yeah. Joel, you actually don't really necessarily stream to Twitch. I mean, I know you have in the past, but you don't necessarily. What compelled you to come this time and be honest with friends?
Not the pizza. We have pizza in England, if you didn't know. No, it's mainly just MCC, to be honest. But I was taking a nap for the first two games of MCC, to be honest, because we did not do well. But no, yeah, just MCC. I really thought it'd be fun to play live. The Rotterdam one was on my birthday, so obviously I'm prioritizing that over my MCC. But yeah, I just really wanted to play MCC live in front of the crowd. See you guys as well, of course, because I missed out on the trip you did for Gamers Outreach. So yeah, mainly just those two reasons, to be honest.
That brings up a good thing. Like, how many people met for the first time in person here?
I know. I met Pearl and Joel for the first time.
Yeah,
so that was a super cool experience.
Yeah, pretty much everyone but Jem, I think, is who I've met for the first time here.
That's awesome.
So I've already met Jem, old news.
I didn't know that Cub and Pearl had not met, and Cub is, just got the most even keel energy. And when he walked into the room, he's like, hey, Skizz, Pearl, nice to meet you.
That's a great impression.
I didn't want to impose knows anything. You guys were deep in conversation, so I was just like, oh yeah, how's it going?
So well, they worked together for years. And the first time you met, and I was like, "Did you say to meet you?" So, so let's talk a little bit about Scar. Your trek out here is you made it. And it's always such a pleasure to see you, an overwhelming pleasure to see you. And you also organized our panel. I do want to talk more about MCC, and we'll do that. But I'm really anxious to get into the panel, which was the Hermitcraft panel. You were the tip of the sword the whole way, and it was just went off without a hitch. Walk us a little bit through that process.
Well, I want to recreate Minecon, and this is our best chance to do it at TwitchCon. And we had the great panel in 2016. That was the last time Hermit has done a panel that Hermitcraft has done anything.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Besides the other, yeah, basically.
Yeah,
more or less.
So we're kind of making our own official Minecon now. And when we went last year, we tried to get one. Twitch didn't know who we were at all. They just kind of brushed us off. And then this time I was like super adamant, we're doing this. So Skizz, you helped me a ton. We both like collabed to get this off the ground at the beginning.
We collabed, it's not lost on me where the lion's share went. There was a lot going on, and we told you before, but we're super grateful for the work that you put in, because that was really memorable.
Scar also put together a really cool entrance music.
You did.
So like as
That's my favorite part. That was
as everybody was coming in to find their seats for the panel, we had our theme song playing, Bop played, Hermit Gang, whole bunch of the horn sounds that were like perfectly placed to like tell a story almost, and the crowd was laughing. It was so good. So like the amount of effort you put in, Scar, was not unnoticed. I want you to know that. We're very thankful that you did that.
I think it helped with the nerves, with the music going. I know for the audience, like they started singing along, and that's when I was like, okay, we're good. Because going into that I was a little nervous, but once the music started playing, the audience started chanting.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
a good idea. They all were really, really comfortable. Yeah. And I don't know, I think there may have been a little bit of nerves going up to the panel, but it felt like the whole thing just went by so very
quick.
fast. And I didn't want it to end, right? I just did not want it to end. It was just so great being up there. And I remember, Pearl, you were up there, and I was having a hard time hearing everybody because of the way it was set up, but it was very hard to hear you. So I'm going to go ahead and need you to recite everything you said.
Yeah, no, it was definitely very hard to hear. Joel, you, and Impulse. Tango was crystal clear on the other side of the room for some reason.
Despite having no voice, by the way. I don't know how you were the clearest.
I'll tell you though, you can summarize my speech, and that's just pickles. That's probably all you need to know, really. Just pickles, mate. Just pickles.
Yeah, no, the panel started off like we were a little bumpy at first.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't hear each other. It was.
Yeah.
Joel was just silent. Just.
We had to get our room going, but I feel like if we did that for another 2 hours, it would have just got better and better and better. It's where we wanted it to be. Yeah. It was good. It was good.
So, the last time there was a panel, we just talked about it, 2016. How those were in that panel compared to this one? Talk to me about the energy of the crowd. Was it comparable, or was it very different? What did we talk about? So I didn't get to be in the first one. I got to be there and watch it, but I didn't get to be on the receiving end.
You streamed it.
I did stream it, so I was pretty just worried about holding my arms up the whole time. But I didn't. Did it seem about the same experience in regards to last time?
I would say so.
I think it was similar. Yeah.
There's way more energy this time with the singing and the chanting.
It was
even better.
It was much more energetic this time around. I would say.
I would say it's a different audience in some ways. It was a very young audience, and we have such a varied audience now. And some of those people have grown up. It's really cool. The cosplay, that was not a thing in 2016. Where people wearing costumes and
not just cosplay, but multiple outfit changes during the convention.
During the con.
That was unbelievable.
That was like one person.
One person.
Yeah, like
one of us at some
one
point.
day they're this amazing Skizz, and then the next day they're Dungeon Master, the Tango, and then the next day they're Scar. Yeah, one person.
The amount of preparation it must take to do
incredible.
Those are the changes I've seen, is like the costumes and stuff like that. That's what's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Because that was, I can tell you this. I mean, full disclosure, in the first panel in 2016, thank you. So in the first one in 2016, that first one, like I said, I was just watching. And I remember being just so like, God, I would love to be up there, and I got to be. And it was my first time. It was Jem's first time. It was Joel's first time, and I just felt super comfortable and super happy to be there. But I do want to hear from Jem. I want to hear how did you walk me through your panel experience?
Ooh, I was definitely a little bit nervous, but not so much about like speaking. I guess it's just It's difficult sometimes to be up on stage in front of that many people, I think. Like, I'm so used to talking into a microphone. I wasn't so much worried about that, but like looking people in the eye while you're doing it, very different experience. But it's really cool to like hear the feedback live. Like, it's one thing to hear LOL typed in chat, but when you're actually like they're laughing, that's so different, and it's so cool.
Yeah, we had a moment, Joel says he's very shy.
Yeah, and then you made everyone chant my name. Which is really hilarious. Yeah, that was fun. Thank you, Skizz. I appreciate that. That was sarcasm, by the way, if you didn't understand. Yeah. It's what we do in England sometimes.
Oh, I know what sarcasm is. Okay, now we cannot gloss over the meet and greet, which was amazing. And now where people, I gotta be honest, we're now over it. We've moved past it, and I still don't understand how it works. People reserved one table, but they could go to both, because I was told that yes, you can, and another person would say no, they can't, and what
chaos.
I have receipts.
It was just chaos.
I have all the messages. There was a lot of confusion. There was times where nobody would be able to see different, then everybody could see everybody, and then it was like, maybe somebody could come over, you know, it was a bit chaotic. I think we've learned from it. One long table, everybody lines up, goes across the table for next time.
Yeah,
but it was awesome.
They let how many people register per line? Like 380 or something like that?
Yeah.
And then they gave us 2 hours?
Yeah.
Somebody did the math, and it was like we had 30 seconds or less to talk to each person. Yeah. And that was if they were going to go to both tables. There's just no way. So after we got through the first, I don't know, 50, it was like there's no way we're getting through everybody unless we speed run the rest of this. So it got pretty chaotic quickly.
I feel like the panel though, we got into the flow at the end where we at the start on our side at least we were doing it as like all 4 of us meeting one person at a time. And then we swapped it to like each person meets one person at a time. It meant they could go down the line, and it got a lot better at the end. And I felt like I saw more people towards the end. But it's just again getting in the flow.
The Twitch staff were very responsive too. They were super appreciative, and they even stayed a little bit longer when we were doing the very end of the meet and greet.
We had an absolute hard cut, and they did go past it, and they were not supposed to do that. So we're thankful for Twitch to actually have done that, because you know that's overtime now. And so we appreciate that.
That was very cool of them, because there was probably, I don't know, 25 to 30 people left in line at the time of the cutoff that would have had to just leave without getting their meet and greet that they signed up for. So that would have been very sad.
Yeah, they were great.
They really were. They shocked me, and I think we shocked them, because there was some convincing it took in the beginning when we were working with them. Like, listen, we should probably do a meet and greet, and we should. And they were like, and we're like, why don't you Google Hermit? You know what I mean?
Skizz just said, "Do you not know who I am?" Legitimately kind of a big deal.
It wasn't me. It wasn't like, so for the panel, I wrote the original abstract, and I'm like, Scar, this has to actually come from you. You know, your name holds a lot more grounding than mine, so this has to come from you. And then you became the point man, and I remember the sort of the back and forth that you had where they weren't quite sure, and it's okay to not know, but once we did it, we got to the other side of the meet and greet, they were like, yeah, if you guys want to do that again next year, that's going to be just fun. Because it attracted a lot of people, a lot of eyes.
Yeah. It's hard to say, like, oh, we got a big old audience over here, but you have to say that. You have to be Twitch. You do have to understand the expectations of what's going to happen. Yeah. And they still didn't believe it. They didn't believe us last year, that's why we had nothing. And then this year, with the convincing, we got it. And then when they saw the traffic to the website from the community and the Reddit posts, that's when we got the meetup. Because they knew that all the people at the panel, like, they're gonna wanna meet us. Yeah. And so thankfully, it sounds like we're complaining about Twitch. They were fantastic.
They were absolutely.
Yeah, this is not an easy thing to organize.
No. And
especially on their end.
I don't expect them to just automatically.
No.
They deal with a whole wide gamut of entertainment and education and all that, so I didn't expect them to. It was kind of funny how I think they get a lot of BS. I think they get a lot of people who come in and just sort of inflate their own egos. I'm kind of a big deal. And then it turns out Hermitcraft actually is a big deal, so this is not something you can tuck us away in a closet and it's going to go smoothly. This is going to take some training.
It's a safety issue. Like, we have to have them know how this is going to work for the safety of us, the audience, everybody, so it's smooth and clean. It's not, hey, we're pretty big over here. No, it's like, this is logistics. So.
I think it's tough because numbers mean different things depending on what platform you're on, whether it's short form, whether it's YouTube, like, you know, Medium, but also live streams. It's such a stronger bond that gets formed with your audience because they get to see you stumble through things and your mess ups and your mistakes.
And you have two-way communication sometimes. They're talking to you, you're talking right back to them, so they kind of have a bond. And then when you get to meet them in real life, it's like, oh, I've been kind of talking to you through my streams. It's nice to put a face to a name, you know? It's the best part about these conventions is getting to see that we've had an impact on actual humans and not just a name on a screen, you know?
Yeah. Well, also the dynamic of being a group multiplies that effect by a ton, because there's so much shared interest between the group from the audience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they like it when they see one of us. It's really cool, and two of us are together. When you get the group, like you're saying, it's like, whoa.
It's like the Avengers.
Yeah.
Assemble.
Yeah. If you watch long enough, it'll be like Monsters, Inc., where they all start tripping over each other.
I didn't think I was going to get through that meet and greet because, like, right when it started, we were at a table with Jem, and she must have been a 12-year-old or so girl, was just in tears to meet Jem. She, like, as soon as she came through, it was like laser focus onto Jem. She was already like tearing up a little bit, and I started tearing up just seeing, because I have a daughter who's the same age, around that age, and just the thought of my daughter meeting her hero, you know, and how she would feel. I saw that in this girl, and she came up to Jem, and Jem was just so sweet to her. And the whole time I'm tearing up, and I'm just like, after she was done with Jem, I was just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
I remember the moment you're talking. The three of us were sharing a single table. And I do remember that when that girl came up and the tears just filled in her eyes, and she just looked up at Jem and just was like almost shaking. And Jem just, and came around and gave her this hug, and then gave her a bracelet and just did all this great stuff for her. And it was just, it was a good thing to watch.
How did you hold your composure with that?
Seriously.
Oh, she was so sweet. I just feel like, I don't know, just give them a big hug, and it's so, they're so cute. That is literally what I live for. And I did do the bracelets this year, so I felt really good that I had like 30 bracelets on my arm at one time, so whenever there was a big interaction like that, I could give them a bracelet and they'd have something to walk away with, and it felt really good. It feels really nice.
That was awesome. Never gonna remember that forever. Well, you had something similar going on. I was further away from you, but I noticed that there was a lot of, hero envy going on your side too.
Yeah, I did bring like a giant bag of swag. I pretty much bought extra merch. Whenever I do merch runs, I always buy extra so I can give them to people at conventions. And I brought like 8 of my pop vinyl figures and probably another 20, 30 TCG collectors slab cards. And every time, you know, someone came up, I was like, you've got TCG cards. Did you miss out on this? Would you like the slab version of it? And it just ended up really well. And same with the vinyls. Like, do you have it? Nah, here we go. I can solve that problem for you. So I don't know, it was really cool.
It's so thoughtful. Yeah. Like, it actually drives home how thoughtless I am. Because I never considered doing something like that. And never. I was like, what do you got? You bought yourself a lot of crap, Pearl. She's like, it was just gifts.
We had the dilemma beforehand, though. Sorry. How, because you only had like 30 pieces or so, and we knew there was going to be hundreds of people. She's like, oh. How do I solve this? And
stickers. Stickers.
We kind of had this like wink, wink, super friend. All right, come on back here. You know? You get the good stuff. Yeah.
Kind of like did a little run around the desk. Like, I'm gonna do a quick grab.
Yeah.
Take this. Have this. Take it home. I'll tell you though, the sweetest moments when it came to those are when like parents came, but their daughter or the son, they couldn't come. And I was just like, you know, here, give them this to take home and give to them. And that was like one of the coolest things.
That's nice. Yeah. Cub, I was watching you as well, and you had such a great energy with all your fans, and I could tell that they were very, very nervous to meet you, and you just had this great demeanor, and you just seemed to put them at peace, like instantly. Walk me through how you're able to do that over and over and over and over again.
I had no idea what to say to anybody, so I was literally flying by the seat of my pants, but I tried to be very genuine with them, you know, I'm just trying to be my genuine self. You know, I feel like I have a really good connection with my audience, you know, how I interact with them and how I, you know, play Minecraft or any other game. So I just try to be, you know, genuine, ask how their convention's going, ask things like, do you play Minecraft? How do you play it? What aspect do you focus on? Things of that nature. So it was just really awesome to meet people in person, because I went to TwitchCon last year, but before that, it's been years since I'd been to in-person event, mostly due, to the pandemic and things. So it was just really great to connect with fans on that personal level.
You say I was my genuine self. There's not another version of Cub, so
that's true.
Very genuine. It was lovely to watch. When I'm streaming, sometimes Evan and Caitlin pop up on stream, and you get the "Is this the Evan and Caitlin?" You guys have a very real presence. Were you able to keep a low profile this go around?
I think like a medium profile. I feel like we run into fans most when we're up in the artist alley because we have a lot of like makers and crafters and artists in our community. But we definitely jump scared lots of people because we did not publicize at all that we were coming. And so like there was multiple like violent double takes. Like but everyone's always super sweet and genuine, and I think meeting people kind of like more in the wild always feels like a nice bonus. We always get a little nervous at meet and greets. We love meeting people, but it's also like, you hear people who are like, I bought tickets because of you. And then it's like, I get like a couple minutes with you. Like, I want to make this worth it.
You flew from Germany to meet us. Like, how do I make this short amount of time like as meaningful as possible? Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful burden to bear, but it's still something that like, I mean, hearing how you guys strategize around it, that's really good. Like, bring swag. It's a small gesture, but like that's really great.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, they did say that sometimes. I came all the way from the UK.
Yeah.
I came this. I'm like, awesome.
I hope I'm worth it.
Yeah. Want to do a picture? Or? Okay. Goodbye.
A fun thing we always do, because there are often situations where it's like, oh, my brother loves you or my sister loves you. We always we'll be like, hey, can we record a video for them on your phone? And then it's like, we just do a little like, hi, insert name here, and it's like, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I did a video for someone and they just asked if I could just insult. I think it had been 3 or 4. One of them I did like 30 seconds. I got about a bit carried away, to be honest, and just went in on them. They said that they were the best thing to come out of Yorkshire, and I took that very personally because Yorkshire tea is the best thing to come out of Yorkshire. But yeah,
new business model for you, Joe. New business model for you.
Yeah.
Start a cameo.
Yeah. That's a different. Yeah.
Mike.
Hey. No, that's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where people can pay for like a 10-second. Yeah. You would make a killing because if anybody who doesn't know, Joel loves to refer to his audience as losers. So hopefully that didn't happen during
I just have the mindset that people need to be humbled whether they want to or not.
Well, I think you need to be humbled, Joe.
Don't worry, my ego's fine.
One thing that we try to keep in mind too, especially for y'all's community, is like when they're meeting you, they're also meeting each other. And so that's a really, I'm not sure if you saw like people online chatting with each other and stuff like that. And I think that's a really good thing too that kind of helped lessen the pressure on us. It's like you guys put your personalities out there, and your personalities are the filter that selects the right audience for you. And then that groups them together also.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw some comments on the Reddit about that, about people like meeting each other in line and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool.
I had some people who in my community who were on the fence about coming, and I told them, there's going to be people there who are fans of me and other hermits, and you can meet up with them. And then they sent me a thing on Twitter, and they're like, yeah, we went to the block party together, and it was amazing. And so that's what it's all about.
Somebody brought a bunch of yellow like bandanas to MCC, and they were like passing them out and created a little Imp and Skizz Yellow Yaks fan club for our MCC team. And we could see them, like we were sitting perfectly to where just past our right monitor, that we could see that group just swinging the yellow bandanas, and there was a whole bunch of them. So like the idea that they came, like they obviously mostly met there for the first time, and they all shared one common thing. They wanted to root for the Yellow Yaks, and they all did it. It was so great.
That was great. That MCC, that was an experience. MCC is supposed to be full of the best of the best. And then there's the rest. and Tango and I were in a similar spot to where while everybody there is being pixel perfect, we're going, what is this one again? What are we doing? What is the objective? How do I do this? And it was very, very, very humbling, but it was super, super fun. And Yellow Yaks did well, but I mean, really, Hannah and Fruitberry are absolute masters.
Our team was stacked.
They were absolutely stacked. It was a testament to what an anchor I am, because they put like 2 of the best players on there, and we did very well. We got to the final 2 and almost pulled off. You almost pulled off what would have been the greatest dodge bolt ending probably ever.
Yeah, it would have been great, but it was great. It was absolutely great. But yeah, being 1 shot away from winning was a good experience. It was awesome.
It was super worth it. I felt so good because Pearl was right next to me on a different team, and then on the other side was Scar. You guys were on the same team, and looking over and seeing you guys. Any sort of nerves I had, which was actually plenty, just seemed to be subdued when I could look over and see my friends and feel good about it.
I was constantly yelling at you. You never heard me. I was yelling over Pearl. Yeah, we were cheering you on. You guys were doing so fantastic. It's because you can't beat yourself up about how you did. You did. I think you beat me in the ace race. You were incredible. I saw you whiz by me.
I did. I had a couple good moments.
Yeah.
But I also had some tanky moments that were just I couldn't take myself out of that hole.
Tanky moments, I feel.
Genuinely really impressed. You and Tango stepping up.
Tango, great. I know
really, he beat me in ace race. I saw him go by and I'm like, let's go Tango.
We stayed up late last night rewatching the broadcast from the main Twitch Rivals channel to see what they covered, and the amount of times that I saw Tango's name come up pretty early and where he ranked. I was like very, very impressed. So congrats, man. You did great.
Oh man. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the meet and greet one more time, because I've noticed something. When we enter a room, we get a reaction from the crowd. Right? We've seen that. You walk in, people hype it up. You walk in, hype it up. But when Scar enters a room, there's something different about the reaction that the crowd offers up. Tell me about your experience in the meet and greet, because people who want to see Scar, it's a different energy, man. And I know it takes a lot out of me just being up there, and you're kind of being swarmed by people. How did you get through that process?
I don't know. You feed off of their energy. Yeah. Especially like when you start getting to the end, we do get worn out. We put everything out towards making sure every single person feels like they're the most special person in that line. So you want to make sure you get to know them in this short amount of time, and then you start kind of wearing down. You try to feed off of their energy to kind of get you back up. When that last person goes through, you just go. Your battery's drained.
Yeah. It'll take it out again. I think was it 3 hours in Pulse? More. Was it?
Yeah. Like I said, Twitch went overtime, and they had that hard limit. So we're really appreciative that they didn't just cut that line and tell people to leave. So that was.
I thought it was supposed to be 2.
I think it was 2.5 roughly. Okay. I think it ended up being 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long one for sure. So I mean, like having to keep up our energy that long, I couldn't have just imagined that as soon as it was over, we just had like the biggest adrenaline dump, and we all just wanted to go to sleep. I think we were supposed to go to like a thing, like a mixer party type thing, and we were just like, nah, pass. No, it was MCC party at night, and we're just like, I know the event's tomorrow, and we should probably go meet our teammates and stuff, but we're tired.
I need my 8 hours of sleep.
I say me and Cub still went because we're party goers. That's how we roll. Yeah. We don't get tired.
That's right.
We're very tired. I'm so good.
There's one other thing that's different after all these years is the gifts. I don't remember in 2016 and some of the other ones. All the things that people make, the stickers, the buttons, all that stuff is new. I think that's really cool. Like I was just looking through some of the stuff. I was like, these are like professional quality stickers that somebody made and illustrated, and they're absolutely fantastic. And a big shout out to everybody who brought the Scarland art book and supporting that project, because that was really cool to see. And especially all those funds go to Give Kids the World, so that was really cool to see. Yeah, that was actually my favorite part of the entire meetup was the seeing the books and knowing that people enjoyed those.
I had no idea that there was illustrations of me and Skizz inside the book, so people were coming up and flipping to the page that we were on, and I've seen it for the first time ever, and I was like, this is fantastic. And I was able to autograph next to my dwarven character, things like that. So yeah, that was very cool to see.
In your Workman Redstone outfit? Did you see that page?
Yeah, amazing. Nice. So good. So good. Yeah, that was really cool. And I think my favorite, somebody gave me a card with Jimmy, Solidarity Gaming, so I could have.
I got one of those as well.
I can have him next to me every night when I fall asleep, since
I was just gonna bring that up. That is the weirdest thing. We all got Jimmy cards, and we have like a whole deck of them. It's very disturbing.
And you have them in your wallet, right?
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, of course.
I do. Yeah, they handed me a stack. Can you hand these out? I'm like, so I'm working for you now? I'm not all the all right, so I personally always look forward to these conventions, to these TwitchCon conventions or whatever is going to come up. And I can't tell what I like more. Is it meeting the fans and doing the stuff, or is it just hanging out with you guys? And I think it's sort of it's kind of a 50-50. But I'm personally looking forward to the next one. Impulse, you and I always talk about it. You know, we're always talking about, like, this is coming up. Can we make this? What are we going to do? And all that. And obviously, we're going to go with Tango because you're right down the road and we can travel together and everything. You guys coming back to the next one? Everybody coming back to the next time you can make a TwitchCon? We got Pearl coming from Australia. We got Jem coming from Newfoundland. And Joe coming from the UK. You guys coming to the next one?
Joel's trying to talk us
to see. It's a long flight. It depends what I'm doing at that time of year, maybe. But you should come to the Rotterdam one, guys. Come on, put some effort in or something like that. Me and Pearl have done it. Jem's in it as well. You guys got to do it next time. Come to Amsterdam, Rotterdam.
We're going to make the long trip and we'll go explore more parts of the world. That could be cool.
I'll come.
Let's go. I'll show up.
All right, you saw it here.
Rotterdam is even further for me, I'd just like to mention.
Wow. There's not going to be a convention in Australia anytime soon, I imagine.
I mean, there's literally packs. Come on, where's everybody going? Come on.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, I want to tell you guys again, and also to everybody who's listening and watching, we talked a little bit, Star, you talked about the gifts and the trinkets that people were making. I got a lot for the Imp and Skizz podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's super cool.
Dude, I took a risk. When we did the panel, I decided to say, was it the panel I said? We do a little podcast called the Imp and Skizz podcast. I took a risk saying we do this little thing called the Imp and Skizz podcast, and I was expecting almost no reaction, maybe a couple like, woo, like one part, but there was a huge eruption.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it coming. I was super happy that were you. Did you?
Oh, it was amazing. So after the panel, we kind of just went outside because when the panel was ending, a lot of people were coming up to the stage and you know they hadn't got a chance to meet us at the meet and greet because it was so limited space. And they're like, "This is my chance, you know, to get something signed and say hello and meet them." But we needed to get off the stage. There was going to be another panel after us that they needed to set up for, and so we decided to just kind of walk outside the doors of where the panel was held and let everybody just come up. And again, just like what happened last year, was everybody was so great that they just like managed to make lines on their own, just right there in like the lobby. We did get moved a few times by security because we were blocking all the doors. Some guy did come up to me and asked me if it was the Call of Duty panel or something like that. So I was like, no, this is like a little, you know, ad hoc meet and greet. But Skizz and I, we had, it took us some time to get through our line, and I think mainly because we got a lot of people coming up to us and just giving their stories about how a certain podcast that we had done in the past had impacted their lives. I mean, there was so many different stories about people changing their careers, losing weight, just making big changes in their life just based on one podcast we did. Yeah. But there was many other stories about leadership and other ones that they really enjoyed. And then, of course, we got some trinkets, and people were bringing Imp and Skizz merch to sign. You know, they had their hats and coffee cups and stuff. That was really cool. Yeah. So we were super proud to see that.
Well, one thing that I'll pass along as a lesson we learned, because we've started too many channels. We started 7. The one that we kind of stopped was...
I'm subscribing to them all, by the way.
Oh, thank you. The one that we ended up stopping, because we were overextended. And we you know, the number one thing we know our fans don't want to do is us to burn out. But the one that we stopped was our podcast. And it wasn't until later that we heard so much that, like we were saying, different numbers mean different things, you know, and you form different connections. But the podcast, people said that was like, that leads to the deepest connection, because we're sharing so much more of ourselves in these moments like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
cool.
And that was a while ago. We got to get you guys back on the podcast.
We're here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
Yeah, we got to get you back on the podcast. You want to do it? You guys want to do it right now? Is that right?
I'll consider it.
Okay, thanks.
Tango, do you remember when you and I were walking and, because it reminded me when you said it was kind of jarring for some people to see you, all of a sudden there you are, and you and I, and we just happened upon the girl who was dressed as me. Right? And so and she turned around and she said, literally with a float, like the whole Minecraft avatar I got going on, and then a floating Skizz like on a boing spring on my head. And she turns around And I'm standing there, and she's like, "Oh my god!" It's so funny.
So good, so good.
And then she was you the next day.
Yeah. She was incredible.
What do you think when you see somebody dressing up as Tango?
Oh, they dress up as from last season, the decked out dungeon master, and the detail is incredible. The keys, the flame, the ember and burning in the hand, and the blue hair, and the blue contacts. Like, it was incredible. I was in awe. Yeah. Many hugs.
Yeah. People love Tango as well. And I want to say, and it probably goes without saying, but it was really fun watching how all of you interact with your fan base. You know what I mean? You're all like so overwhelmingly genuine. And you're all so kind to each and every one, which is just, it doesn't matter how tired you are. It doesn't matter. I'm watching, and 2.5 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, the last person, same energy as the first one. And that's something that you guys should be proud of, because that was really, that's something I think I need to work on.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, I think I was 10 minutes in. I'm like, I'm kind of tired here. You know what I mean? But you guys maintained it the whole time. So, okay, let's get down to actually hanging out, having some pizza, and as friends, making out with a camera on us. And I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
One more thing. From the panel team, to the meet and greet team, to Gamers Outreach, they can never say enough great things about our community and how our fans treat them, and some of their experiences with other communities, and just the contrast of how wonderful our community is. And I've had messages from all these groups saying how wonderful behaved, how awesome and excited and passionate our audience was. And I think that's really cool, especially when you hear it from the panel team, meet and greet team, Gamers Outreach. And I think that's really special.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
It is special, like the way that, they're all...
Scar's beeping. It's
Time's up,
all
sorry.
the way till here. But yeah, just a big thank you to the community. And your passion and how awesome you are shows through to the point where you get messages from these teams being like, these guys are great. These are amazing. Your viewers are amazing. So I think that's something really special.
Sure is. Absolutely.
Talks about the type of people that I guess we tend to attract, right? You know what I mean? They're even keeled, they're easy to deal with. And I think we all do a good job sort of feeding off that energy and maintaining that energy, keeping it going. So I can tell you with a lot of confidence, I'm going to be at the next one. You know what, dude? Joe, I might come to you, man.
You should. You should definitely do that. Yeah. It's not a long flight. It's like 14 hours to run and finish. It's nothing. Pell does that like weekly.
I'm in.
Yeah, you got this. It's fine.
Going to conventions is addicting.
Where's Robert?
It sure
Forming
is.
those connections and like deepening those bonds. Because we always think that like conventions is like speed running friendships and connections, because you see each other's again and again and again, and like something about the human brain, if you see someone again and again and again, like it's almost like you're meeting up again and again, but it's just so condensed. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you guys could make it. Last minute decision. You surprised us, and so we caught you guys the first night at the Twitch partner party. It was cool to see you. And then the last time we saw you was TwitchCon last year, right? So I mean, When we left that TwitchCon, we said we should do more things together. And then we waited another TwitchCon. We should do more things together. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not only with us, getting FaceTime. This is good for us as a group too, because we get to know each other on a more personal level, which makes it much better for us when we're actually like collabing and trying to record videos and understand each other's cadences and how we all think differently from each other. And it just helps us strengthen that bond to become better friends and creators together. So that's great.
It does. And honestly, like, we should do more things together.
Yeah, see you next TwitchCon.
Yeah. All right. Anybody have any last second remarks that they gotta say? I'm hoping several people have a guess there.
HermitCon.
Hermit. If we can make that a thing.
Maybe you just put it out in the world. Maybe it'll come true.
I would love to do that. Obviously, logistics would be a nightmare, but I think it would be an amazing event if we could put it together.
We can introduce you to some people. Who do events.
Okay, next TwitchCon.
Let's do it.
All right, maybe. Maybe that'll just go ahead and say it. Let Reddit do its thing.
Just put it out in the world.
Yeah. It's just plant a seed.
Or Mojang, get on it. Minecon, bring it back. Bring it
Yeah,
back.
in-person Minecon was amazing.
Yeah. I don't know why Minecon. I still don't understand why Minecon stopped. It just had to have not been profitable. I mean,
Probably.
Yeah, they've probably not made much money over the time. It's only 200 million copies sold or something. Tough for them. Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to be in. This is supposed to be an absolute day off, and I appreciate everything that you guys do, and I appreciate you taking this time. And let's all chill out.
Woo! Yeah, I already got some feature. You're gonna love it.
Oh, you're gonna love it. It's a little shout out to Bambinos. Bambinos. That's good. All right, thank you, everybody.
See you.
Bye.